This is decompression problem number 10 using the U.S. Navy Tables Revision 7, 2016-2017. This is the final dive for the Navy tables. Again, first dive of the day, diver's clean. We're leaving the surface at 0500, leaving the bottom at 0550 to 145 feet. So that is a bottom time of 50 minutes and a depth of 145. We're going to round that up to 150. No decompression limit is 8 minutes, so we can see we're well in excess of that. We know it's a decompression dive. Let's go ahead and chart this on the City College dive chart. 150 for 50 is our schedule, and we picked that schedule by moving to the standard air decompression tables and going down to the 150 foot table, which is right here, and we're looking for that 50-minute schedule. There happens to be one right here. Again, it's another exceptional exposure dive, and it shows that we have water stops. We're not doing in water, air, and oxygen or surface decompression. We have three options to decompress the diver. This is certainly the least desirable due to the extreme times involved, but you can see that a Deco10 would be very effective to do here with 2.5 chamber periods. That would be in a controlled, safe environment and would only have a 40-foot water stop as well as a 50-foot water stop to do. We will get to that stuff later on in 104 here, and then definitely in some detail in hyperbarics. So let's go ahead and write our stops down. We are 145 for 50 minutes, and we write on our tables here on the side 145 for 50, leaving the bottom at 0550, reaching the bottom at 0502, 75 foot per minute descent rate. Write that number here and here. Again, in significant number, this is the number that counts. Time to leave bottom 0550. So 150 for 50, let's write our stops in. We have 4 at 50, we have 14 at 40, we have 28 at 30, and then 170 minutes. Gosh, that's almost 3 hours in the water hanging at 20 feet. Not very practical. Nonetheless, we're going to chart this for example purposes to get used to charting and adding times. So if we leave the bottom at 550, we're going to be traveling up to 50 feet. So that is 95 lineal feet, and that would be 190 seconds to our first stop. We're going to round that up. That would be 3 minutes and 10 seconds. We're going to round that up to 4 minutes and then start the clock for the diver's 50-foot stop. So the diver will reach there at 5:54 as far as the decompression clock is concerned. Add 4 minutes to it, leaving at 0558. 14 minutes from there, now we're in between 10-foot stops. We can include the ascent time as part of stop time. According to Navy rules, add 14 minutes to our 0558, leaving the 40-foot stop at 612. 28 minutes later, we're going to leave the 30-foot stop at 640. And then 3 hours and 10 minutes later, 2 hours and 50 minutes later, we're going to leave the 20-foot stop. So 2 hours and 50 minutes later is going to be 0930. 0930, reaching the surface at 931, traveling 20 lineal feet. Should take you 40 seconds, rounded up to a minute, 931. And our repetitive group 150 for 50 is Z over here on the tables. Write that information here, repeat group there and there. So at 0931, that's what time we begin our surface interval. That's what time we reach the surface. Write that information down. Of course, there is no RNT on this since it's the first dive of the day. There is no repeat group in, but now we're a Z diver at 931. We can continue on to the second dive. 931, we're a Z diver. I'm asking you to go to 60 feet, and you're leaving the surface at 1630. At 1630, you're going to leave the surface. I'm asking you to go to 60 feet, and I want you to tell me what the maximum actual bottom time is to make this a no decompression dive. first thing we must do is we must define what the limits are for a no decompression dive. And the second thing we can do is we can figure out what time our surface interval is. The difference between 1630 and 931 is 6 hours and 59 minutes. So I'm going to take that information and write it down. I'm a Z diver for 6 hours and 59 minutes on the surface, and I can get a repetitive group. So let's go back to our surface interval credit table. A Z for 659 puts us as an H diver. An H diver at the beginning of our surface interval. Now, we have residual nitrogen in our body, and we need to know exactly how much residual nitrogen we have. So for H, and we're going to 60 feet, H to 60 feet tells us that we have 46 minutes of residual nitrogen time. We define the limits of what a no decompression dive is by going back up here to table 1, 60 feet for 63 minutes. And we already have 46 minutes still in our bodies from the prior dive, 46 minutes of nitrogen time. Therefore, the difference between the two is going to be the max bottom time that we could possibly have. So the sum of those two numbers cannot exceed the no decompression limit for a 60-foot dive. So 17 is the max. We write it here and here. That's your answer. We're going to go ahead and pick a schedule, 60 for 63 in a repeat group, 60 for 63. Looking on the tables here is a K diver. So if we leave the surface, we go ahead and chart this dive. 1630, we're going to leave the bottom at 1647. Bottom time stops then. We just have to compute ascent time, depth in feet, times 2 equals ascent time in seconds. 120 seconds traveling is 2 minutes. Add that to our leave bottom time of 1647, reaching the surface at 1649. We are a K diver. Transfer that information over to the beginning of the surface interval for a third dive. 1649, we're a K diver. I'm asking you to go to 85 feet, and you have a task to do for 25 minutes. So your bottom time is 25 minutes. I'm asking you, what is the minimum surface interval to make this no decompression or no stop dive at 85 feet? Well, that's not a very difficult task, hopefully, at this point. We look at 85 feet and we define what the limits of an 85-foot dive are for no decompression. We round that number up to 90 feet, and we see that the no decompression limit is 33 minutes right here. We know we're going to be in the water for 25 minutes, so the maximum residual nitrogen time that we could have is 8 minutes in the 90-foot RNT timetable column. So we're going to work horizontally now across in the RNT timetable. We're looking for a number of 8 minutes or less. 8 minutes or less in the 90-foot column. Scroll across looking at the numbers here. In the 90-foot column, we scroll across and we see we're getting smaller. 26, 22, 19, 16, 12, still above 8, 9, and all the way over here to the A category is 6. So that means we have to wait until we're an A diver. An A diver from a K diver. The intersection between A and K is right here at 9 hours and 10 minutes and 11 hours and 29 minutes. Okay, so the minimum of those two numbers is 9 hours and 10 minutes, and that is your answer for this dive. So at 1649, we wait 9 hours and 10 minutes, and that has us leaving the surface as an A diver at 0159 in the morning. Our actual bottom time is going to be 25 minutes. We write that here and here, and then we simply add 25 minutes to 0159, leaving the bottom at 0224, traveling 95 lineal feet. That is 170 seconds. That's 2 minutes and 50 seconds. We round that up to 3 minutes. Add that to our 224, leaving the bottom, reaching the surface at 0227 as an I diver. How do we figure I diver? Well, we add the actual and the residual together, and we get 31 minutes total equivalent single dive time or total nitrogen time. 90 for 31 We're going to see if there's a 90 for 31 on the tables. So we scroll back up and we look at our 90-foot no decompression table here. Here are the bottom times in minutes. There's a 24, 28, there's 90 for 31 right there. So we're not quite maxed out on the repet group there, but our repet group, 90 for 31, is an I diver. So at 227, we're an I diver. Take that information, transfer it over to the fourth dive at the beginning of the surface interval, right over here. I'm now telling you that you have a surface interval of 9 hours, and you're going to go somewhere where your bottom time is not to exceed 10 minutes, or you're going to have a bottom time of 10 minutes to perform a particular task. I want to know what the deepest depth that you can go and make this a no stop or no decompression dive. First thing we can do is compute what our new group is going back in the water. So let's take I, and let's go for 9 hours. An I diver at the beginning of our surface interval right here. Scroll across to where 9 hours fits. Happens to fit back over here in the A category between 7:25 and 9:44. So I to A. A is our new repet group going back in. We know we have residual nitrogen in our body. We don't know how much because we don't know how deep we're going. The sum of the residual nitrogen time when added to this actual bottom time, that sum of those two numbers cannot exceed the no decompression limit for the depth that we choose. I want you to pick the deepest depth that you can go and not exceed it. And as I tell you with all these examples, the easiest thing to do is to start at 60 feet. Add the two numbers together, compare it against the no decompression limits for that depth. If it fits, go deeper. Go 10 feet deeper and see if that fits. If it fits, go deeper. And if it doesn't fit, then you go back shallower, and that is your depth. So let's look at an A diver going to 60 feet. An A diver going to 60 feet is going to have 9 minutes of R&T. 9 when added to 10 of the bottom time is 19. Well, of course we can go 60 feet for 19 minutes because the no decompression limit is 63 minutes. So let's go to 70 feet. No decompression limit 48. 80 feet is 39. So let's go deeper. A to 70 feet is going to have 8 minutes of R&T. 70 for 18? Yes, absolutely we can make that dive. Let's go deeper. Let's go to 80 feet. We said the no decompression limit was 39 minutes there. 7 plus 10 is 17. Certainly we can go deeper. So let's go to 90 feet. Let's check, make sure our no decompression limit. 90 is 33 minutes, 100 is 25, 110 is 20. So 33, 25, and 20. Let's check 90. 90 feet has 6 minutes of R&T. Certainly we can go 90 for 6 plus 10 or 16 minutes. 90 for 16 works. Let's go to 100. 100 feet is 5 minutes of residual nitrogen plus 10 minutes. Yes, we can go 100 feet for 15 minutes because the no decompression limit is 25 minutes as we just looked at. Let's go to 110. Can we make a 110-foot dive? Still 5 minutes of residual nitrogen at 110 feet when added to 10 minutes is 110 for 15. Can we go 110 for 15? Certainly we can because the no decompression limit is 20. We're getting closer now. So let's go to 120. 120 as an A diver has R&T of also 5 minutes. You can see these numbers are the same here, and they're just theoretical times based on that depth. So 120 for 5 minutes when added to 10 minutes is 15 minutes. 120 for 15. Can we make that dive? Presto, it's right on the money. Okay, so that is going to be our max, but let's just check. 130 is 12 minutes. If we go to 130, let's check our R&T at 130. It's 4 minutes. 4 plus 10 is 14, and it goes over. So our max depth is 120. So now we can go ahead and chart this dive. 9 minutes after 2:27 in the morning. We'll leave the surface at 11:27 as an A diver. Have an actual bottom time of 10 minutes. That has us leaving the bottom at 11:37. Residual nitrogen time is 5 minutes as we got over here. 120 for 5. Write that in there. Add the sum of those two numbers together, and it is 15 minutes. We are traveling 120 lineal feet to the surface, or 240 seconds, a nice round 4 minutes when divided by 60. Add that to our 11:37, reaching the surface at 11:41 as an F diver. Our schedule, 120 for 15 if it fits. Let's check. 120 for 15. Is there a 120 for 15? Certainly there is. It happens to be an F diver. So 11:41, you're an F diver, and now you're done.